Have you been told that your little one has cerebral palsy? Wondering, what does that mean? And can anything be done about it? Hi there, it's Neesha from My Favorite Physio. In today's video, I'm jumping in to talk about cerebral palsy and what we as pediatric physiotherapists can do to help your child with cerebral palsy. So here at My Favorite Physio, our expert pediatric physiotherapists see many babies and children with cerebral palsy, and we understand the condition well enough. There's a whole spectrum of movement disorders that come under cerebral palsy. Given our expertise and the different resources we have, we're often able to help each child achieve their best potential using different strategies. 1 in 700 babies in Australia have cerebral palsy. That makes up for almost 34,000 people in Australia with cerebral palsy. Worldwide, it is about 17 million people who have cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is a term that describes a range of movement disorders. It can sometimes be described as a non-progressive lesion in the brain that causes these movement disorder. In some babies, we will never find any signs of abnormality in their brain scans, but what we will see is their movement patterns is not normal. Cerebral palsy can be described in many ways. One way is the movements that we see. So your child can have ataxia where they're really shaky and unbalanced. Sometimes it's hypotonia where they're very low in muscle tone and floppy. Sometimes it's hypertonia where they're very stiff and unable to move well. You can also have dystonia where they switch between being very stiff to being very floppy. Cerebral palsy can also be classified based on your function, whether you can sit, can roll, can crawl, pull to stand, or walk. Whether a child can walk with a piece of equipment or without a piece of equipment, or are they in a wheelchair for main mobility. So there's different descriptions to classify cerebral palsy for a child. One thing we know for sure is that early intervention makes a big difference for every child with cerebral palsy. So here at My Favorite Physio, our expert pediatric physiotherapists would work really hard with every family. Regardless of MRI scans, regardless of predictions that neonatologists have made about your child, we focus on helping your child learn movements to help them learn to roll, to learn to control their head, to learn to sit up, to learn to crawl, to learn to pull to stand, to learn to walk. Some children will require assistance to walk, like a full body harnessed walker, or some may use a handheld walker. But right in the early stages, we really need to help the brain learn new movements. And we know that the beauty of the brain is the plasticity. So under first 3 years, this is where the brain grows and makes a lot of new pathways. So if there's an injury to one part of the brain, with the right early intervention, we can help the rest of the brain learn to make connections to help your child move. So key to everything that happens is early intervention. Early intervention pediatric physiotherapy to help your child move better. Early intervention speech and language therapy to help your child learn to swallow, to eat, to talk. Early intervention occupational therapy to help your little one learn to move and use your hands and grasp and pick up things. It is so essential to have your child seen by an expert pediatric physiotherapist if you want them to be learning to move. And we have often defied the odds and helped little ones who were predicted to be in a wheelchair to be walking with nothing. The key is the sooner we see them, the better the outcomes. So if you are out there and you've been told that your little one has cerebral palsy, don't despair. The first thing you need to do is pick up the phone, ring us here at My Favorite Physio, speak to one of our expert pediatric physiotherapists. Let us help your little one achieve their best potential. The number to ring is 02-9790-4233. And if you know somebody out there in your world who's been told that their little baby could possibly have cerebral palsy, why don't you like and share this video with them? Until next time, have a fabulous day. Bye.